Alright, what you see here is a Hunter original ceiling fan. This is a more recent one. It's from the 30th week of 2012, and it's the one I bought from Nathan to give to my dad. I brought it back because the blades were pretty out of alignment, and he didn't like how it wobbled when I showed him the video of it being tested. So I figured let me make it less wobbly, but also he mentioned to me that he wanted to put a light on it because he doesn't want light in the center. So I figured let me get one of these Hunter Original light kits for it. And also I figured if I'm going to use this light, I might as well give it the original look that it would have had with the 4 blades instead of the 5 blade look. Plus I figured since I know he likes antiques and such, having it with the 4 blade would definitely give it more of the antique look that these fans would have had back then with the R52s and such. But and plus it will move more air with the 4 blades, so I figured might as well. But this thing's just an absolute beauty. I really do love how this fan looks. And yes, it is an overseas one. It's not made in the US, but the thing still cranks out a ton of air. And to him, that doesn't matter. As long as it does the job, that's all that really matters. So, yeah. But yeah, hopefully this download will hang low enough where it's not going to be trapped in like the slanted parts of the ceiling. It kind of goes up, and then there's like a portion in the center of it that's actually flat. So hopefully the blades will have enough clearance where it'll still push a good breeze, and if not, yeah, so be it. He just needs something in there to circulate the air from what he told me. And I figured since it's a big room, I might as well go for something that'll crank. And also go for the old school look that he likes. But yeah, I'm using the oak blade because the wood in that living room is a lot lighter than the walnut side that's on it. And don't get me wrong, I love how this fan looks with the walnut. If it was up to me, I honestly probably would choose the walnut. But his living room, it definitely would match 10 times better with the oak. But yeah, I have a 100-watt LED light bulb in here. I'm thinking what should be good for that living room. It is like a soft white or a bright white color. It's not daylight. As long as it gives off enough light, he'll be fine with it. I just feel like this fan would look strange with a daylight coloration. But yeah, there's the Hunter tag. And I picked the 4 blades that were in the best shape. One of them is still a bit warped, but I feel like over time it'll bend back downwards. But it's not a big deal. Yeah, it does mount close to the center, but honestly, like I do feel like it looks strange, but at the end of the day, it still looks good. I do prefer if it were outwards more, but I'm not really too fussy about it. I feel like if it was on a white one, it would be more obvious, but with the black, it kind of blends it in more. And my dad does know about these needing to be ordered, and he does have a ladder that's tall enough that I could reach the fan. But yeah, I've been meaning to get this to him for a while because I've already installed a few of the fans there, but I'm really needing to get this one installed. But yeah, it gives off good lighting. Oh yeah, this would definitely be good enough lighting for the living room, without a question. Yeah, it definitely has that nice antique look. I really can't wait to get this installed there. Hopefully next time I visit, I'll install it. I mean, I know he'll be using it all year long and such to circulate the heat and the air in the summer. Alright, and here's low. The fan's not going to be used on reverse at all because of how high it is, it'd be pointless. So because of that, like when I tested it originally, I'm not going to show it on reverse. The only thing that concerns me if it sways a bit like this, but with it being installed and being right against the ceiling, I don't see that happening. It's just more so because it's on a test rig that it sways a bit more. And I wish it would go slower on low speed, but honestly, like that classic low, the aesthetic low that the older ones, the US made ones would have, but for him, it's just a fan that does the job, so it's not going to bother him, so I'm fine with it. I'm going to hook it up to a control because he does not want it having super long pull chains, which I don't blame him, honestly. It would look a bit strange having chains hanging that low. But yeah, no, it doesn't really wobble at all on this speed like it did before. And yeah, one of the blade arms, it's kind of scuffed up. Well, to be honest, one of the blade arms is actually a replacement one from the white original I got from Brandon a while back. The one that had the 4 or 5 blades, but it was only a 4. I just stole one of those blade arms and painted it black, but I forgot to get the inside area. Because the two that were pretty badly bent on it, they were just not really worth fixing, so I just swapped the blade arm itself. But it still has the original set of blades, so it's just a blade arm I swapped. But also, like, it's not really out of balance that much compared to what I was expecting. I know he was telling me he was considering painting the glass with a floral design. Kind of like the flower design that's on the KDK in my grandmother's bedroom in the DR. The bluish flowers. I think it would look nice, but at the same time, I feel like it would kind of kill the antique look that it has. It would look more like updated, I feel. Like an 80s looking fan. If it was a brass one, that's a completely different story. But if it's a classic black like it is, I feel like just a plain black, a plain globe with no designs to it is the best choice. Oh yeah, it moves a very nice breeze on this speed. And here it is, the white. I mean, in all honesty, compared to like other fans out there, I feel like on the 5-blade configuration, it definitely goes a bit fast and low. But with the 4 blades, it really doesn't look like it's going super fast. It's like, a little bit faster than your normal low for a fan, but like a home center type fan that has like not a super fast low, but it's not that slow of a low either. Like it's around that area, but with 5 blades, it definitely looks like it's on medium. But yeah, the living room doesn't have any central air at all. It has heat, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it has heat. It just doesn't have central air. And when I first saw the house for the first time, and he was telling me he wants to put a fan there, this was literally what I thought of an original. The room itself just calls for an original. It has a classic American look to it and such. The fireplace, an oak mantle, the oak wooden beams. It just called for an original. And this one I know was sold at Lowe's because during this time period, Lowe's did bring back the original for a few years. And I remember in 2013 seeing it there, but my phone was dead, so I couldn't film it. Not this specific one, but I remember seeing it on the display. And I pointed it out to my dad, and he actually thought it was a nice looking fan. All right, now for medium. If it was a regular, like not such a heavy fan, and it wobbled a bit, I feel like my dad wouldn't mind it. It's just the fact that he knows that it's 50 pounds. I wouldn't want something that's that heavy wobbling either. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's really just more so the fact that the bell canopy on it, or not the bell canopy, but the canopy itself, 2-piece one, it's not like flush against anything, and it's on a U-bolt mounting, so that itself also causes a little extra wobbling to it. But yeah, the medium speed's definitely pretty good. It's not too fast and it's not too slow. It's a little bit faster than I remembered it being, but I mean, it was a little bit slower. But it also has 4 blades, so that's the other reason why it looks slower. In a way, it's actually kind of good that I didn't paint that portion of the blade arm. I can kind of gauge how fast it's actually going on each speed. Kind of like how Max's channel used to do with it. The fans he tested way back in the day with the piece of tape around the blade arm. But yeah, the fan has oil in it too, obviously. Otherwise, it wouldn't be running properly. But I do know when Nathan got it, he told me that it was practically locked up. And that's because it had no oil in it, and once you put oil in it, it freed up. I mean, honestly, the original ones from the USA made ones are definitely better. In all honesty, like, even if it's an overseas one, in my opinion, from what I've seen, as long as the fan is taken care of, and oiled like it should, it'll hold up. Now, do I feel like they're extremely overpriced compared to when these were sold when I was a kid? Yes. When I was a kid, the originals used to sell for like $170, $180. The brass ones were more expensive, but the white and black ones were like under $200. I think the brown ones were too. I'm not too sure about that. Which is why I feel like I saw so many more of them as a kid. But then ever since they started making these, marketing them as a, because at the time they were marketing them as a powerful fan, basically, something like a high velocity, or basically they marketed it as like their powerful fan. But nowadays they market it as an antique type fan, which like a replica, which it is. And because of that, honestly, that kind of gears the price of it more upwards. Now it's like at $650, $750, depending where you buy it. But yeah, if anybody can find an original under 100, honestly, or even like under 75, it's worth getting. You can, even if it's an overseas one like this, you could always sell it for parts. The parts for these are basically like the blade arms and blades are basically the same ones that they used on the 90s era ones that were US made. The fact that the blades were so out of alignment before, and just seeing how well aligned they are now, is definitely a big improvement. I mean, it does sway a little bit on medium, but I'll take that compared to how it was before. Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can hook it up to one of those control controls that I got, the 4-speed ones with the white dimming option that I got at the restore that Dan would go to a lot. The one that has the upside down black gold lines, or the blades upside down, the Kitshore Industrial, and some black fiber of the fan. I could do a remote, but I just do not want to do that, to be honest. And it wouldn't be me buying the remote canopy that they sell for it. What I would do is literally just mount a receiver on top of the motor housing and just kind of fish the wiring for it, like through the bottom of the downrod area, and just connect it that way. But I feel like it's more worth than it's worth. Plus, if the receiver ever went bad and such, there's that issue. Whereas with the wall control, it's just a wall control, so it's less likely to have issues. Alright, now to move it up to high. Now, the highest speed, in my opinion, is the speed I really don't want it to wobble, because I feel like that's the one that it would scare anybody the most. But it's not really wobbling, it's just swaying. And again, I feel once it's like actually hung up against the actual ceiling, it's not going to really sway around. But no, this fan definitely flies on the high speed. The other reason why I feel it would be nice to have with the 4 blades is also, since my grandmother also was to my dad, it would be kind of a neat way to pay homage to the Bahama hugger that she had in her living room before I removed it and became part of my collection before we sold our house. The only other fan that goes up that I could see being 4 bladed is that um, Better Homes and Garden fan that my dad got at Walmart. And if that doesn't go up, at least I want one fan that's 4 bladed there, and might as well be this one. Yeah, it really doesn't wobble. It's just it sways a bit when you move it up the speed, but I feel like that's more so from the pull chain being pulled and such. But after that, it doesn't really wobble at all, which is good. But again, it's just more so that the canopy on it doesn't really have anything above it. It's keeping it from moving around. Whereas if it was against the actual drywall type ceiling, it would be more. It would keep it from really moving around. But no, this thing, like, it really does crank out a lot of air. I definitely need to test a US one down here at some point. One of the few that I have. This is one I just want to get it installed to them as soon as possible, and I'd rather just make sure it doesn't wobble, so that's why I'm doing a video of it. If something is heavy as this, I definitely don't blame them for not wanting it to wobble. I'm honestly wondering if he'll even really use it on the high speed. But who knows? But no, this thing's definitely a beautiful fan. And yes, they're not made in the U.S. no more, but it was the motors that were basically made over in the U.S. for the most part. Like the housings, if I'm not mistaken, were made overseas for the longest time. And the newer ones I hear are better than this. And I definitely would like to try a newer one at some point, since they like redesigned it a bit in 2021 with the matte silver one, I think it's called, or matte gray. Now that's one that I wish that they made this white kit in the same finish as, but I honestly do like the white kit that they made for it too, like the 4 white that they sell for them. I feel like that would be a better one for this living room, but since I wanted to look as antique as possible for him, because I know that's what he'll appreciate, I'm doing this look instead. Hunter original. Yes, it's definitely not like the same the quality like US made ones. But as long as you take care of it, I feel like it'll be fine. Unless they had like a back capacitor or something. And there's a lot of places that I've seen like that has restaurants with these that they're holding up pretty well. A restaurant that I filmed that has 6 of them, The newer ones like from this era, but I think they're from like 2013 to 2014 or something. I'm pretty sure they're from 2014. I just don't remember exactly when they were put up because I didn't film them right away when they were put up in that restaurant, the seafood place. But yeah, they've been there for almost a decade now, and they're still running fine. The only issues that they had was that some of them were getting loose blade arms over time. So I just let them know, and they've have tightened it since I filmed today. I had been meaning to do an updated video about that, but I just never found the time to. And plus, the time that I did film, it was when they were really empty, so I was lucky. They usually always pack, so it's kind of tricky to really get a video there, but they're still there. The one place I feel like an original like this would look really awesome that I filmed at is it's that old popcorn and ice cream place with the Hampton Bay Island Hugger. I feel like one of these would look awesome there, but I just don't know if it's worth it, especially if they may or may not put it up. But yeah, it's come to a complete stop, and that'll be it for this video. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and stay tuned for more videos to come.